Hey, what's going on, people? Hey, I had a somebody send me a video, a short rather, of a kind of comedy video of a guy going into a female's house for the first time. And when he walked in and he seen her body, he was like, "Oh man, yeah, the body banging." And then he went and seen the house, and he was like, "Oh, this is a nice house." And then he went into the kitchen. She was cooking. He was like, "Damn, she can cook." He was like thumbs up on everything. Then he turned around and looked down and saw her feet, and she had like a long middle toe hanging out over her shoe, worse than the other toes, right? And he looked, and it just changed everything for him. And he kind of made an excuse and put his hoodie over his head and walked out the door. So it made me think of a topic about deal breakers. Like obviously that was a deal breaker for him, right? So what is a deal breaker for you in relationships? And I jotted down a few notes, right? So I think at the top of most people's list, if you believe in God and or call yourself a Christian or whatever, then if that's important to you, then it would be important to you to be with somebody that had those same beliefs. I mean, if you believe in God, it wouldn't make sense for you to end up in a relationship with the atheist. You know what I mean? So is that a deal breaker? I mean, if you met somebody, ladies too, ladies, whatever, men, if you met somebody and they checked off all the boxes, like they were attractive, they had their finances right, um, they didn't have a bunch of baby mamas, baby daddies, and then you found out that they were atheists. You found out that, oh, I don't believe in God. There's no such thing as God. Like I believe in human revolution, not revolution, but what is it? Human. I don't want to get caught up on it, but you know what I'm talking about. Where we used to start as monkeys. Evolution. That's the word. Human evolution. But like Cat Williams said, what happened? Why if human evolution is a real thing, why are there still monkeys? So, anyways, so is that a deal breaker? Would you still? Do you think that relationship would be successful if you decided, like, you know what, I'm gonna still date this person. I'm not gonna judge them from their beliefs. I'm not gonna feel like because I believe a certain thing they should. And so I've been in this situation, right? I've been in a situation where I've met people who didn't have the same beliefs, and in my mind, I was like, well, I know I believe in God, and the fact that they don't, they do have that right to not, but also this particular person um, wasn't American. Like it was like a West Indian type person, right? So in different countries, they have different beliefs. So I kind of gave that excuse, like, well, only Americans, basically, mostly mainly Americans, we're the ones that believe in Christ and believe in God the way we do. When you go to another country, they have different beliefs. They believe in Buddha and all these other things. So, but that relationship didn't work regardless. But should that have been a deal breaker? Because I was thinking like maybe God put this person in my life, and He gonna use me to convert this person to believe in Him. I don't know. That was the excuse I used. But for you, is that a deal breaker? And the next point is, what about weight? Like, does it matter? Like, would you date somebody who was obese or fat in your opinion, or would you date somebody who's like sticks and stones? Like, I mean, sticks. Like, didn't have no weight. Need to put some weight on. Would you date that person? What about hobbies? Like say you're a woman, you like to stay home and read a book, and you like to educate, yourself, and you like to do things like walks in the park, and but this person they like to go to the bar, they like to drink, they like to go to the club. Um, Point number four, what about finances? Would you date somebody? Is that a deal breaker? If you're on top of your game and you work tirelessly, most of your life, you're in your late 30s, early 40s, or whatever. Maybe you're in your late 20s, but you did what you had to do to get where you are today. And you've established yourself. Like you have your house or apartment or whatever. You have your own car. You have all the essentials, and you don't have any baggage. Like you're not dead weight. I don't want to say bring something to the table because you know that everybody has worn that shit out. You know, made that a cliche. But you do. You have your own table. So would you date somebody who doesn't? Would you date somebody who is that a deal breaker for you to say you make mm, say you make 50,000 a year, right? And you know, in this economy, that's not a lot of money. But if you're good with money, then you can make it work. So and you come along and you meet somebody who's basically for the fellas, all right? Because honestly, the guys, when it comes to this, we have it worse. Now, I know there are women that have their shit together, but guys, we're looked at as um, providers financially. Now, it's cool to be looked at as a provider, as a man. Like, oh man, you gotta bring security to the house. You gotta make sure the cars are good. She shouldn't have to mow the grass. She shouldn't have to do a whole lot of things. You should be a protector. Now that goes without saying. But it's like men, we're looked at as financial providers in 2026. Like women are looking at men like, and it's ridiculous. It's not like looking at men like, can you make sure you know the mortgage is paid? Can you make sure you know we're not there's food in the house? No, they're looking for shit like, oh, can you get my nails done? Can you get my hair done? Can you get my you know have me looking good? You know, can you get this purse for me? Like, and to me, that's a young mentality. Like, I don't feel like there's no grown women, and grown women doesn't mean age, because I see some grown ass women who have a childish mentality on the internet that think that a man is supposed to provide financially for them, and if you're a wife, then no doubt, you know, as a man, you're gonna bend over backwards to make sure your wife is straight. But that's a two-way street. I only want to do that for somebody who's going to do it for me, because what if I end up in a situation where I'm no longer able to provide that? And then you got these clowns on the internet making dumbass videos like, oh, don't send that girl no good morning text, send her some money. And these are the same clowns that was on the internet 5 years ago, broke, trying to figure out how they gonna, you know, they trying to sell products that help you falsely. Oh, this will cure cancer, and then they hit a lick and get money. Now all they talk about is giving that girl some money, but that wasn't, you know, that it's like now that you got money, that's all you talk about is money. And regardless, I don't want I don't want a woman to want me for what I have. Like I want a woman to want me for me. And if I have, that's even better. You know, that's just a plus. So I got all off topic with that, but it's all relative. It's all relative. Like, is that a deal breaker? Shit, you know, I think it should be a deal breaker for men for sure, because the amount of women that are looking for men to take care of them financially is staggering. You know, it's way more women than there are. Men aren't really looking for that. Though I will say, I do know of a lot of cases where men end up with women, and these must be some really insecure women where they will let a man move into their house or apartment with their kids, and they end up taking care of him. So I guess it all boils down to how you see yourself. You know what you feel like. I think it's knowing your worth. So even as men, you got to know your worth, man. You got to know that you got to know that you're more than just a bag of money to a female. You got to know your worth, man. You got to know that what she's getting is a good man, and not just somebody that's gonna keep her hair and her nails done, because she'll end up leaving you if you go broke, or she'll end up leaving you if she's with you for the money. Then when the right amount of money comes along, she's gonna end up with him. So number five, would it matter? I think this is again, this is more for the fellas. I don't think this matters because I don't know if this even comes up in conversation. Because I've never dated a woman and asked, what's your body count? I've never asked that. Like that's not even something I think I want to know. I think I would want to know if it was like in the hundreds. I'd probably be like, yeah, no, I'm good on that. But I'm a pretty good judge of character when I meet somebody, and I like to meet good people, like just good people in general. I could tell if this is a good person, or they give if you meet a woman and she's a hoe, and you're familiar with hoe behavior, then you're gonna recognize that early. That's why some of y'all dudes get tricked because y'all don't recognize hoe behavior. So the body count, well, what that matter? Is that a deal breaker? I think I'll skip past that one. Communication. If you're an adult, and again, I don't mean in age, I just mean in if you're grown, if your mentality is grown, I think communication is important. You can't have anything with anybody who doesn't know how to communicate, and that's male or female. Like it's not gonna last. The relationship not gonna last. Like what fellas always have to deal with. We always have to deal with trying to figure out what's the problem. Like how many times, fellas, have you come in the house or driving down, driving with her, or and like, damn, what's wrong with you? And she keeps saying nothing, ain't nothing wrong, but clearly there's something wrong, and she won't tell you. And if that continues on during the relationship, it's not going to work. So I think it's important to establish that in the beginning that we have to communicate because I'm a communicator. Like if I have a problem, I'm just gonna tell you what it is. Like, hey, I didn't like so and so, so and so. I don't like when you do A, B, C, and D, or I ain't like when you said this, or these are the things I do like. You know what I'm saying? And then likewise, tell me, things I need to do. And I also think you have to not be selfish. You have to be willing to change. Like, if you're really going to try to be in a relationship with somebody when you're starting out with that person, you have to be willing to change. Like, because everybody's not the same. Every man, what you did for the last man may not be what the new guy really gets off on. That might not be what he looks for in a woman. He might have that covered. Like your last guy, you might have just cooked for him and did yada yada yada, and he was good. The new guy, shit, he been cooking for himself. He had a mama that taught him how to cook, so he don't need cooking. He need support. He need other things. So that need to be communicated. My last point is I know of multiple relationships or marriages at this point. I know of multiple marriages where they tell me like I knew I shouldn't have got married, but I did it anyway. So that's that little voice inside of you. That's your spirit telling you. Sometimes people say it's cold feet, and sometimes that might be the case. Maybe there are situations where it's just cold feet, but then if you're marrying this person for the wrong reason. Like just because you went and bought a ring and you got engaged, don't mean you have to. They don't mean you have to go through with that. Like if it's not right, and you're like, damn, it's too late. We already got the wedding plan. We done paid money. We done did A, B, C, and D. We gonna do this. My opinion would be, don't go through with it. Like I've been engaged in it, and we didn't jump the broom. I mean, at the end of the day, I didn't feel like everything was right, and I feel like I would have been following through with it just because I've gotten this deep in it, and I don't regret not doing it. But on the flip side, the people that I know that did go through with it, they live with regret. They live with the fact that they know they shouldn't have got married, and yet they still did. So that would be my last point. Um, if you're not really sure, man, just wait. Just give it some more time, or don't do it. That's my 2 cents, man.